Hello everybody, my name is Katie from Wild Oak Workshops. Today I'm going to show you how to make a lovely ivy garland in the shape of a heart. Starting with one of these little wire hangers. We're going to have one of these. We're going to have some trailing ivy, which I've got from my garden. And we're also going to get some clumps of ivy, which I'll talk about as well. We've got some ribbon, which I've chosen lovely green and white, and some lovely green twine. And there's a secret ingredient which I'm not going to show you until right at the end. I've also got some pliers. I tend to use my hands, but it is quite tricky in parts, so pliers are quite useful. And I've also got some scissors to cut the string. So we start with our hanger. What we're going to do, you see this hook here, we're going to make it, we're going to pinch it together. I'm going to make it into a hook. And then we're going to pull it like that. Some hangers have got these little knobbly bits here, so I'm going to get my thumb. Apologies about the grimacing faces, expressions. It's a very good one to do when you've been stuck on your computer all day. You've got a bit of pent-up frustration. You want to go and do something creative compared to staring at a screen. So we're going to just push out those little you see those knobbly bits. Push them out with your thumb, like that. And we're going to pull it down into almost like a diamond shape. And I'll just go onto the table here. Then we're going to, in between those two knobbly bits, we're going to just push like that to create, and then point it up. And that's when we start moving this around. We're going to push it up and then bounce it up like that. Move these out of the way so you can see. Okay. Some people have got stronger hands than others, not saying boys or girls. If there's somebody stronger in the household to do this little first bit, you might need to ask them for that. But essentially what you are trying to do is make a heart shape. Got two others that I've made. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our twine. We're going to tie a knot at the top. We're going to get our first piece of lovely trailing ivy. You can find these climbing up trees and also like hanging down in tendrils in woodlands. And so what we'll do is we'll put it there, hold it with our left hand, and then you'll start to wind it around. It's a nice bendy stalk, so it hopefully won't snap too much. And then you just wind it like that. We'll just keep this here. I don't know whether you saw those lovely, we have a lovely flock of ducklings which have arrived this springtime, never happened before. It's because there's a panel in my fence which has fallen down in those very strong winds, and the lovely gentleman who is due to come is obviously not completely relaxed about working in this environment, so he's delayed, in which case the duckies can come and go as they please. We've now discovered this amazing term, which I didn't know about, called duck crumb, which is tiny little pieces of duckling food. So we buy them and give that to them too. So what we're doing is we're just adding lovely tendrils, starting at the top and weaving them round. And you might want to go on the other side. You can start weaving them in and out of each other now that we're building up a little bit of a frame. So there. You hear the duckies? Few more. You've got the wire which you can weave in and out of, and then you've got the other bits of ivy which you can help. You know, when you've got a nice end like that, you just tuck it in just as it would be in nature. And then if you lose the heart shape with all the lovely ivy, you can just start to wiggle the wire and make it a little bit more of a clearer heart shape. There we go. So when you've got your ivy in your garden and you maybe think that it's a curse and you want to rip it down, you'll see it in a different light once you can use it and create with it. I'm going to do another workshop showing me how to do lovely table decorations just with ivy, and it's very, very effective, very useful. So there's the top. Wind your string nice and tight, and then just go round. I would suggest, it might be secure, but this just makes sure that it doesn't unwind itself. If you use green, you can barely see it. Just tie it off there. There. Get rid of that for you. And then we're going to add this much more bushy ivy, and it's different to all other flowering plants, that it actually flowers in the autumn. And as a beekeeper, I'm always grateful for the ivy flowers because they start to doing in about October, and that's the last thing that the bees fall on and just completely top up their honey just before they go into hibernation. So this is much bushier, isn't it? So it's not as tenderly, more bushy. And I also use it in my Christmas wreaths because once the flowers then go, it goes into those lovely berries, holly of the ivy and these berries. So next we're going to add and follow the shape of the heart. I've cut them nice and short. And these go on the outer edge. You can pull it through, got a nice gap there. And so like my wreaths, I've got a direction here, so I would then start to turn it round, rotate your frame and keep going in the same direction. Cut that a little bit shorter. Should be able to feel when you've got a good fixing, secure. Refreshing breeze. Add to. Lovely heart shape. A little bit of fiddling to be done. And then this is this lovely secret weapon, secret ingredient. It is fairy lights, wired fairy lights. So you've got your top here. You turn it over, and what you've done is you've cut a little piece of string earlier, and you're going to attach it, the battery. You're going to attach the battery to the back. So that nobody can see. nice and tightly. There. And then just like the string, slight mind of its own, so I would suggest you wind it up into a little ball first. She says. And then you can just wind it around. Done exactly what I didn't want to do, just get all tangled up, didn't it? There we go. These fairy lights I've got from supermarkets, from garden shops, and online. They're all pretty much the same price, but it's this new wired fairy lights, which is the new kid on the block, which is so wonderful. Yeah. Wind it around. They're so tiny, very subtle and absolutely beautiful at night. Stuck it in there. Make sure you've got your lovely heart shape. And then I've chosen a green and white ribbon. Which I think is really lovely. Fresh. And so you get that little hook, fold it together, put the loop through away from you, and then bring it towards you. And then tighten it. So you've got a nice loop. You can do a bow or a little tie. And you can make loads of these, hang them from in your garden, hang them from your tree, you can bring them inside, you can hang them on your front door. That's your ivy heart. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Very simple techniques using a coat hanger, lots of ivy, ribbon, some string, and that secret ingredient, some wonderful wired fairy lights, battery operated. So lovely to see you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.